In the heart of Eastern Europe, two nations, Russia and Ukraine, have been embroiled in a conflict since 2014. This conflict, far from being an isolated event, is deeply rooted in history, politics, and geography, tracing its origins back to the complex interplay of national identities, economic interests, and international relations. The seeds of the conflict were sown in the wake of the Soviet Union's dissolution in the early 90s. Ukraine, a former Soviet republic, found itself navigating a new political landscape, grappling with issues of national identity, economic development, and geopolitical alignment. Meanwhile, Russia, emerging from the ashes of the Soviet Union, sought to assert its influence over the post-Soviet space. The key players of this conflict are not just political leaders or military commanders. They are also the nations themselves, their people, their histories, and their aspirations. On the one side is Ukraine, striving for self-determination, economic prosperity, and closer ties with the West. On the other side is Russia, seeking to maintain its regional influence and to protect its strategic interests. This conflict has not been confined to the corridors of power or the battlefield. It has spilled over into the cities, towns, and villages of eastern Ukraine, particularly in the regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. These areas, once bustling with life, have become the epicenter of a conflict that has caused untold suffering and hardship. The political landscape prior to 2014 was marked by a delicate balance of power, by competing interests, and by a fragile peace. But this balance was shattered when Ukraine's then-president Viktor Yanukovych rejected a deal with the European Union, triggering widespread protests known as the Euromaidan movement. The ensuing political crisis served as the spark that ignited the full-blown conflict we see today. As the political landscape shifted, so too did the lives of everyday people caught in the crossfire. Beyond the political turmoil and territorial disputes, the real cost of this conflict is borne by the innocent civilians. Picture for a moment millions of people uprooted from their homes, their lives disrupted, not by choice, but by circumstance. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine has led to one of the largest displacement crises in Europe since the Second World War. Hundreds of thousands of people have found themselves caught in the crossfire, their homes and lives reduced to mere collateral damage. But the impact extends far beyond displacement. Vital infrastructure has taken a severe hit. Schools, once bustling with the innocent laughter of children, now stand deserted or destroyed. Hospitals, the very places meant to save lives, are struggling to function due to shortages of medical supplies, equipment, and personnel. It's not just the buildings, it's the hopes, dreams, and lives they house that have been shattered. The conflict has also deepened poverty. The economic strain has led to skyrocketing prices, leaving many unable to afford even basic necessities. Unemployment is rife, with businesses closed and livelihoods ruined. A significant portion of the population now lives below the poverty line, a stark contrast to the prosperity they once knew. And then there's the psychological toll. The constant fear, the uncertainty, the trauma. Particularly for children, this conflict has stolen not just their homes, but their childhoods. They're growing up in the shadow of war, their worldview shaped by violence and loss. The mental scars run deep, perhaps deeper than the physical ones. In the midst of it all, the resilience of the human spirit shines through. Stories of courage, of communities coming together to support each other, offer a glimmer of hope in these dark times. Yet they are but a small consolation in the face of such overwhelming hardship. While the world continues to debate, the people of Ukraine and Russia continue to bear the brunt of this protracted conflict. The future remains uncertain for the people affected by this conflict. As the world watches, ongoing peace talks and international efforts strive to bring an end to the turmoil. These negotiations, fraught with complexities, are a beacon of hope for the weary people of Ukraine and Russia, yearning for a peaceful resolution. Their resilience in the face of adversity is nothing short of inspiring. Despite the hardships, the spirit of the people remains unbroken. They hold on to the hope of a peaceful future, where their children can play without fear, and their homes are no longer battlegrounds. This hope fuels their endurance, their strength, and their unwavering belief in a better tomorrow. Yet this hope is not enough to sustain them. The international community plays a crucial role in supporting these individuals. Aid organizations worldwide are tirelessly working to provide food, shelter, and medical care. but their efforts are like a drop in the ocean, given the magnitude of the crisis. They need more hands, more resources, more support. This is where you, the global citizen, come in. Your awareness of the situation, your understanding of the conflict's humanitarian impact is the first step towards action. You can help in various ways by donating to aid organizations, volunteering your time, or simply spreading the word about the crisis. The power of a collective action cannot be underestimated. When we come together, we can make a difference. We can provide relief to those suffering and support them in their journey towards a peaceful future. This is not just a conflict between two nations. It's a humanitarian crisis that affects us all. We all have a role to play in mitigating the impact and supporting those affected. Remember, knowledge is power, and awareness can lead to action. Subscribe for more educational and informative content.